Hey everybody, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. So today I wanted to talk about the idea of a shared bloodpoint pool for the survivors. I've had this idea floating around in my head for a while, and mostly because this alleviates one of the biggest frustration points I find with Survivor. And that is when you chase the killer, or run the killer for 5 gens, get tunneled out, die, your team gets out, you feel bad, you lost, and you get away with like 5,000 blood points. But your team, who was just on gens, don't get me wrong, good for them, they did generators, gets away with like 25k somehow. And the killer doesn't really get punished for it either because they still get their chase points and whatnot. Like, I've said this before, one of the biggest problems I have with Dead by Daylight, especially in solo queue, isn't that solo queue is necessarily bad, it's that there's no real incentive to play as a team. Even when you're playing this game with your friends in a Swift, a lot of times there's really no incentive to play as a team. The game is a very selfish game at the end of the day. And I know some people might disagree with that. It's like, whoa, there's team and coordination. Well, they can do this, that, and that. Yes, you can, but you don't have to. The game is very doable to play by yourself. Yes, there are some frustration points if you do try to save your team. I mean, the phrase altruism kills exists for a reason. A lot of times, survivors get punished for playing altruistically, and the killer can capitalize on that. A lot of killers use altruism as a way to bait you into doing things that you don't want to do to get you in a position where they can win easier. But my point with this is that I feel like one step to making the game feel more team-oriented, as much as behavior likes to say this game is a 1v1v1v1, is to share the rewards at the end of things. And I don't see what the issue would be here. You would just take the current blood point system that we have now, make it all one massive pool, and then it's split up 4 ways. Now, the one argument I could hear that makes this system kind of flawed is, well, what if someone just hides in the corner the entire match, does nothing, and now they get more blood points than they would have? This is true, but I feel like it's a worthy sacrifice, because people are still going to do that anyways, regardless if this system exists or not, because they want to escape. If you change it in a way where it's designed to give the players that don't get to do the main objective, don't get to do the altruistic actions, and just chase the whole match, they feel rewarded, and thus they don't feel nearly as bad if they do get tunneled out and die. One of the major problems I've had with this game, not only where it doesn't feel like a team game, this is kind of a symptom of it more so, is that if you're the only person who dies and your team gets a 3 out, the survivor team won, but you still lost as a survivor. One of the biggest issues this game has in a win condition state is that the killer's win is 3k. The survivor's win is getting out. Not their team getting out, them getting out. And that's one of the main pain points I feel. It's like when I see people talk about the statistics and the kill rates, where it's like, oh, 60% is too high. Is it, though? That means on average about 2 people are dying every match. So most of the games are a draw in that case. The problem is that draw requires 2 people to lose. That's the problem. But I feel like if you make the incentive and the reward more team-focused, it could maybe alleviate this problem just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. There are other games that do things like this. I know I bring it up a lot, but Deep Rock Galactic kind of does this, where it's a co-op game, but the way they do it is that everything you do contributes to your team's reward. It's not just you. So if you go off selfishly and try to, quote, grief by going off on your own to get minerals or whatever, the minerals, it's a team collective. Your team gets the minerals as well, so you're not really doing anything. Like, there's no way to play selfish in that game that much, other than going off on your own and dying. But even then, you're still scouting the way for your team and, you know, leaving them 1 down, but they'll probably come and get you. That's just how that game works. But Dead by Daylight, like I said, I think punishes altruism a bit too much, in my opinion, and it just makes it so that when you lose in this game, you really, really feel it and feel really bad about it, especially on the survivor side. In any case, as always, let me know what you guys think. Maybe it's a dumb idea. Maybe giving a pool of blood points would incentivize people to just sit in a corner and let their team do all the work. But I love y'all. Have a good one. And yeah. Bye.
Subscribe, damn it. I'll be back. I always come back, and so should you, you moron.